Morning. Just want to kick off this next session. A little bit of background on entrepreneurship and med device, just to kind of fill you in on some stats of things that are going on as we're progressing forward. So in med device, when you're raising your Series A or your pre-seed, your friends and family round, only about 1 in 4 companies get their money. So their money is important, and that passing that next step is really critical. So you want to make sure that you're picking good partners as you're progressing through this path. What's even more interesting is the next round, typically only about 10% of those companies really progress to that next step. So you have a lot of things that are going on, but you're getting reduced chance of success as you're progressing. So hopefully you're getting the right things together, but there's a very good chance that you're having more and more challenges and things are getting more difficult. And as we see with the money flowing, we've had some significant challenges over the last few years, but it's definitely progressing in the right direction. After you get past some of those phases, you've got money. Typically, you're seeing about 40% of the products that are being developed are still having clinical challenges. Now, that may still be in the development phase, but you're seeing issues with major pivots that have to occur, or maybe a fit from a service perspective, and how that fits into the different applications. So always significant challenges, so you got to keep your mind open to usability issues, what the clinicians are looking for, and what you need to do next. Also, you're seeing about 50% of the products are having problems in R&D. So you're going to have issues with plastic injection molding, tolerance stack-ups, things that are breaking late stage. So being aware of these challenges and working through the engineering and having the right team is critical. Only about 11% of devices actually get cleared the first time they're submitted to the FDA. So that's a major issue as well. This is typically just 510K data, but you'll see even with this number, I think it was like 2 years ago, only 7% were actually cleared. The other few were COVID-specific products. Typically, the goal is to get to an exit or some type of strategic partnership. Only about 5% of the companies actually make it to that far. And then even better yet, people are trying to IPO, but less than 1% actually make it that far. So there's a lot of different challenges that exist along this path that you're collecting money for, and you want to make sure you're choosing the right partners. So Concise Engineering is a CDMO. We're based out of Tampa Bay. We basically do all the boring stuff, all the engineering that needs to be addressed to drive your product forward. We specialize a lot in orthopedics and surgical tools, implants, electromechanical devices, and wearables. So we're used to the complex details of what goes on in the surgical field. We're very much deliverable oriented. So if you're early on, you've got a grant, you've got some early money, and you're just trying to get to that next inflection point, we're very creative in doing that from a detail-oriented perspective. And we also understand what needs to be done, what level of detail is necessary, from a prototyping standpoint or from the actual engineering standpoint. And we make sure we bring in the right team at the right time. And so we're not paying for 5 or 10 guys full-time all the time. We're bringing in the experts that are necessary. And we also have a small manufacturing facility, so we can do the V&V builds. We can do pilot builds and small batch manufacturing with a clean room in-house, and also box build and testing, etc. So we can help various phases throughout from that perspective. So just wanted everybody to know we're in Tampa Bay. If you have any questions, you feel free to reach out. LinkedIn on the bottom right, and that's a copy of my book.